Because ADA is a significantly better investment than Bitcoin. Because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to a million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x. And I don't even think we're close to the peak of the bull market. People have gotten so pessimistic and cynical that they're like, oh, the market's dead and we've ballooned. It's like, dude, clarity's not even past yet.
U nedavnom intervjuu Charles Hoskinson, jedan od osnivača Cardano projekta, podelio je svoje predviđanje o potencijalu ADA kriptovalute u predstojećem bull marketu. Dok Bitcoin po njemu može doneti 10 puta povrat od trenutnog nivoa, Hoskinson veruje da ADA može porasti čak i 100 do 1000 puta. Također je nagovestio velike vesti koje uskoro dolaze za ADA holdere, informacije koje ćete možda prvi put čuti na našem kanalu. Prema njegovim rečima, ovaj bull market nije kao prethodni i zapravo još nije ni počeo. Pogledajte ovaj intervju do kraja i saznajte o čemu se radi. Pre nego što počnemo, samo mali podsjetnik da ADU Cardano i još preko 1000 kriptovaluta možete kupiti i trgovati na BingX mjenjačnici. Prijavite se preko našeg linka u opisu ili otkucajte referral kod ADV Capital i dobit ćete bonus dobrodošlice i na depozit i za trgovanje. Također, u toku je BingX kampanja koja za nove korisnike omogućuje kupovinu sa do 50% popusta za BNB coin. Da saznate više, pročitajte oficijalnu objavu koja se nalazi ispod videa.
You should ask him about the original founding of Cardano in Japan with like the 4 families or the 4 banks.
So we actually had one of the most decentralized distributions in the history of cryptocurrency. And we actually have the only one that had provable people. So the entire crowd sale was basically in Japan. Everybody who bought, they bought usually with yen. So they went from not from crypto, but from fiat into crypto. So it brought a lot of new people into the space. And there were 9,900 and some Japanese people that participated. And they all went through KYC. When I just did Ethereum, and some people in Japan reached out to me and said, we want to do the Ethereum of Japan. And I'd been pushed out of Ethereum. So I had this unused roadmap for Ethereum. Well, yeah, I had the entire roadmap and all the technical stuff. But the thing is, they had the market access. So we partnered. People who had the market access became Emergo, which is a sister company. And I created input-output out of it. And so we did the protocol engineering and the product philosophy and these things and kind of the design of Cardano. And then they did the initial distribution. Basically, almost 10,000 people bought it. It was all in Japan. They bought vouchers and raised about $60 million. It was converted into Bitcoin. And that was 108,000 Bitcoin. And then it financed the project throughout its entire life cycle. And what was really cool is like the Japanese buy and hold and they just never sell. So like 50% or more is still sitting in Japan. So it's about $15 billion. And they sell, they get a 55% tax rate. But basically, if you make a yield product out of it where they lend their ADA, create a stable coin, and then do that, then they're not selling, right? I was really excited about it. This formal methods things and UTXO, and we knew how to do the proof of stake and the other stuff, and basically started from scratch and had to build new companies and a foundation and all this other stuff. And it was an enormous amount of work, and nobody cared about it at all until we launched in 2017. And then when we launched, it immediately went to the top 10 and it never left for any substantial period of time. And we outlined the roadmap. We said we're going to start as a static federated system and then grow to a dynamic and decentralized, and then add smart contracts and add governance and then add scalability inside the system. So we're 10 years into it and we're nearly done with the entire original roadmap. And we're in a really strong position because it's become this incredible project.
Like, why not just go all the way, sell all the ADA, buy Bitcoin? You're then like a top 5 Bitcoin holder in the world. And then you can do a bunch of good with that money.
Because ADA is a significantly better investment than Bitcoin. It's not me saying it's a fact. So here's some history that you might not be aware of. When the ADA crowd sale happened, we did it in yen. And the yen was converted to Bitcoin for auditability. So an audit report's actually coming out likely next month. It'll show the Bitcoin addresses for this. But at one time, I was one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. We had 108,000 Bitcoin. If we just held the Bitcoin from the ADA sale, it'd be 12 billion. The market value of Cardano is 30 billion. So we outperformed Bitcoin by a factor of 2.8, give or take. So people are like, oh, Bitcoin is such a better investment than all these other things. Well, EOS, absolutely, that's true. The only two around from that era are Ethereum and Cardano, where actually the networks substantially outperformed Bitcoin, in this case by almost 300%.
Wait, what are the two? Cardano and what's the other one you
And
said?
Ethereum.
And Ethereum, yeah.
Those are the only two. So that's just the fact, you know. So why is it? Oh, why don't you just convert all your ADA to Bitcoin? It's like, okay, so we can make less money as an ecosystem.
You think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen. Cardano does substantially more, and because of Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to end up probably being the yield layer of Bitcoin. And so it's going to get a huge halo effect from that. And because of the launch model of Midnight, partner chains are going to bring in airdrops almost annually to ADA. So you're like making the case for holding ADA. It's like if you hold ADA, you're going to get Night tokens. Night could be a $10 billion product right out of the gate. And 50% of the supply is being allocated to ADA holders. And every year, these things are going to be dropping. And
when does that airdrop happen?
The airdrop is the second half of the year. We'll have an announcement at Rare Evo about it. But that's like imminent. It's not like a hypothetical thing. It's like this year, and Midnight's launching this year. And every year, you know, these drops are coming. And when you hold ADA, you're going to get multiple revenue streams. You get the ADA yield, but then you also get all the other tokens that are managed inside the ecosystem. So, I mean, if you look at the technology, the growth of the technology, the growth of the community, where we're at in the product life cycle relative to Bitcoin, you also take a look at all the upside that can come. It's probably a 10x to 100x difference between what's potentially possible for ADA over Bitcoin.
I'm curious if you think the 4-year cycle is still intact.
No, it's a different cycle. It's something different going on. And I don't even think we're close to the peak of the bull market. You know, people have gotten so pessimistic and cynical that they're like, oh, the market's dead and we've ballooned. It's like, dude, clarity's not even passed yet. When clarity gets passed, the Mag 7 are going to enter the cryptocurrency space. You're going to have stable coins go above 1 to 2 trillion in issuance. You're going to have real world assets come in. The total market cap aggregate is going to be over 10 trillion. And so I call this the Giga Chad bull run. You know, it's like the biggest bull run we've ever had. And when Bitcoin starts stalling, then the alts will pop. And so you're going to see great ratios that, you know, come from this whole thing. And yeah, it'll die off a little bit, but it's like every time you have these windows, you go to new all-time highs and then you stay at new all-time lows, you know? And so it's no longer a 4-year cycle because it's not retail led anymore. It's more led by institutions and it's more led by massive investors. But simply put, there's just too much going on. The inventories on Bitcoin are too low. You got these DATs injecting gargantuan amounts of money into the market, and there's no way not to see a bull run. You know, from all.
When do you think we hit? Wait, so what are we at today? 4 trillion, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 4 trillion. When do you think we hit 10 trillion?
Before the end of the cycle, and I think the cycle will last throughout 2026 because clarity is going to be the catalyst. I think that really bootstraps it up. And, you know, the only reason why we haven't super taken off was that there was an irrational exuberance when Trump got elected, and then it didn't immediately pay off. And so people got a little crazy about it. And then, you know, the tariffs and all the macroeconomic stuff kind of shook the market a little bit, but people are starting to look at crypto as a counter-cyclic and as a hedge asset to the collapse of the US dollar or, you know, to inflation or, you know, there's such things.